When I was on set, the entire crew had flown in from Mumbai, so they all were speaking Marathi to one another, and I was sort of in my own zone and in my vibe. And I think everyone assumed I only spoke English because why would I speak Marathi? And I think on day 3, they cracked a dirty joke just amongst themselves, and I was on camera and I burst out laughing. And the entire crew froze, and they were like, in Marathi, they were like, "You speak Marathi?" I was like, "Yes, I do." And ever since then, but it was fine. It was a hilarious joke, and they were an amazing crew. But it's kind of nice when people don't expect you to know a language, and then you do, and you can understand everything they're saying. There was one scene where I had to run down the street, and I was wearing these like flip-flop kind of things, and I went flying onto the gravel, and I had this huge bruise like all down my leg. It was really gross, and cuts, and it was like bleeding, and I looked like a mess. And that was like day 3 of shooting, so we had to cover up my bruises, and thank God, the outfit I'm wearing in the movie is, covers most of my body. I had no, things in a bikini. But that was definitely an interesting part, and in between takes, because the director came to me and was like, "Listen, like if you want to take a few hours off or recover and all those things, you can." And I said, we only have a few hours to get these shots. Either we do it now or they're not in the movie. Like, we don't have extra time. And he was like, "Yeah, you're right." So we continued to do it, but in between takes, we had to like wipe the blood from my leg and from my elbow because it just kept bleeding and it like wouldn't stop, and we would do it. And then the camera guy would say like, "Hold on," and then we'd wipe my blood and then we'd do it again. So that was definitely like being in the trenches of it. So. Oh, it was all worth it. It was a great experience, and I think everyone has crazy things that happen to them on set, and it's always worth it. I've been singing for a very long time. When I was 4 years old, I started studying Hindustani classical music, and then I started singing Western classical music by the time I was 12 or so, and that slowly transitioned into jazz, and that's kind of been my main thing over the last couple of years. But I was in an a cappella group in high school and in college, so I sang a lot and I miss it, so I definitely will continue to do so. Right now, acting has been the main priority, but I always like to sing when I can, and I definitely don't want to give that up. When I made Hijraz, I was 18, younger, and I made it not because I wanted to make a movie, but because I was really interested in the topic of Hijraz and how they live and that whole thing in India. And I think that's why I made it, because I was passionate about that. And I think the next time I make a movie, it'll be because I'm passionate about the topic. And there are a lot of things that I'm interested in, so hopefully I'll find something that I want to make a movie about. So when I was in the play, The Partition in Baltimore, I had just started at Johns Hopkins. I was 19, and it was a time commitment. I was in college, I was joining a sorority, I was in an a cappella group, I was doing all those kinds of things that are very important when you're 19. And I got the offer, and it was a time commitment. And I remember thinking, like, is it worth it? And it was fun. It was a wonderful experience. The actors were great. The director was wonderful. But I had no idea that it would lead eventually to this experience. So I guess everything does happen for a reason. Robert Kanigel met Janaki, my character, when she was quite old, and he interviewed her for his book at the time. So when I had the pleasure of meeting him, I asked him everything I could about her. And obviously, I play her much younger than she was when he met him, but she had an incredible life, and she gave back and was really incredible, apparently. So even just hearing about that from him and hearing how she was at the end of her life really did help how I played her as a younger character. Kumbakonam is a place that we shot for a few days, and Ramanujan was from that area and did spend a lot of time in that place. So it was incredible to be there, really where it all happened. And it's such a small little hamlet that it's untouched by time at all, really, except for internet and phone and those things. But the actual houses and roads really do feel like they did look exactly like that 100 years ago. Ooh, when I was young, I used to watch a lot of Audrey Hepburn and Julie Andrews movies, Marilyn Monroe. And I don't know, I just wanted to be a part of that world. I wanted everything that came with that. So I think being an actress is something that I've wanted to do since before I can remember. But in the way that people, like kids, are like, I want to be a queen or a princess. You know, it was that kind of thing. But then I guess I made it happen, so. I would love to work with Helen Mirren. I just think she encompasses her whole character with her body, and she has this way about her that is, I don't know, I just would love to work with that. And Bradley Cooper. I just think he's smart, and smart actors, I think, are a pleasure to work with.